It's Sunday night. It's 8 o'clock. Welcome to All Lacrosse Live. I'm Gary Groob in Toronto. With me as always, I have Shawn Slaght over in Moose Jaw. Shawn, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks, Gary.
Good. And I have Muffler Mike over in Connecticut. Mike, how you doing?
I'm good.
That's awesome. I'm pretty good here too, 1-4. 1-3. 1-3. Picking up where I left off, Consistency. That's our motto here. Anyways, we had a good show for you tonight. We got lots to deal with: PLL, MSL, WLA, RBLL, all kinds of summer ball going on. Plus, we're going to get into the Austin Staats reinstatement once again from the NLL. But just before we do all that, just a reminder to everybody that our show is streamed live across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, also Twitch, and you can catch us the next day on Spotify. Remember, hit the subscribe, follow, and like buttons. Always share. Please enjoy all of our affiliates across the network, Stream Punk Entertainment. If you missed a show, no worries. You can grab all the shows on YouTube, which includes Stream Punk Cinema, Stream Punk Combat, as well as Stream Punk Sports, and, of course, all across all the time. Don't forget to follow us. Also, while you're there, you can see retro games, interviews, library shows, as well as press conferences, fights, and so much more. Remember, you can stay up to date with all sports by visiting streampunkentertainment.com with great articles from our huge staff of contributors. Also, a reminder, our show is brought to you by 60. 60 is Canada's newest and most exciting sports uniform and teamwear brand, delivering top quality uniforms and teamwear that reflects the spirit and identity of each team. Their commitment to innovation and excellence sets them apart, ensuring that every customer experiences the perfect blend of style and functionality. Unleash your greatness with 60. Add Lax Talk 10 to every one of your orders for a 10% discount. Now, how do you get there? First off, you got the QR code, which is in the center of your screen. Next, you can get to them on Instagram at sweet_60. You can email them at info.sweet60@gmail.com or go to their website at www.sweet60.ca/60. All right, a little bit of news this week. First off, the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame released their newest inductees. And what a list this is, guys. What a list. First off, we have Bruce Codd, who is assistant coach of the Toronto Rock, of course. But if you have a look at all the accomplishments he has done, absolutely incredible. We have Anthony Cosmo, also a well-established player, coach with the Buffalo Bandits as well. But just take a look at all the lineage he's done over his career. We have Sean Williams, who, again, Coach GM of the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. But, again, take a look at the lineage. We have Larry King, Akwesasne, President's Cup 95 and 97, Nation Cup participant, Team Indigenous 1980, Akwesasne Lacrosse Hall of Fame 2018. We have in the Builders category, Mike Gray from Brooklyn, Redmond GM from 76 to 87, Man Cup in 85. Redmond and Brooklyn Lacrosse Club executive for 25 years. Meiji Series commissioner from 87 to 95. Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2012. Whitby Sports Hall of Fame in 99. And we have one more in the Builders category, and this is Dave Vernon out of Welland, Ontario Junior B League commissioner since 91. OMLA, OLA Board of Governors since 79. Helped found Ontario Junior Men's Field Lacrosse League, OLA Mr. Lacrosse Award 87, OLA 20, 30, and 40-year service awards, and Ontario Provincial Championship scheduler since 1988. All I can say is, wow, what an inductee class. This is like the heavyweights of the industry. So absolutely congratulations to everybody. Well-deserved from everybody on that list. Well done by the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame in choosing their inductees. We had a couple of small trades. First off, in the OLA, Cam Dunkley is going to Six Nations. for cash considerations to the Owen Sound North Stars. Stipulation is 1 year release. Senior B rights go back to Owen Sound for 2027. We had a trade also between Belleville and Ennismore. Sebastian Reynolds goes to Ennismore. Over to Belleville goes Jack Bucknell, Cam Crowley, and the rights to Brandon Johnson. As well, we had one in Major Series, and that was between Brampton and Brooklyn. Alex Samard is going over to Brampton. Has already gone over, actually, played this week. And to Brooklyn, a conditional third-round pick in 2028. And the terms of this conditional pick is if Alexis plays more than 10 games in 2026, the third round will turn into a second round in 2028. Lovely graphics, aren't they? The guy from
should
OSL.
hire the guy who made those.
Yeah, he's really doing a bang-up job there. Oh, man. Alrighty. I want to bring Pat in. Pat, welcome. Good to have you with us. Looking well as always.
Did I see revenge on the with the Water Dogs? Did they not get revenge on the Boston Cannons?
Yeah, they screwed up my perfect week of 0.
Me too. So guess what?
the only winner I got this week. I'm gonna have to become a Water Dog fan, I think.
That was good.
Because my Atlas is doing not a whole lot. I want to jump into something before we get into PLL, Pat. And you are part of this because, well, by a coin toss, this could have been Philadelphia's problem, not San Diego's problem. And that is Austin Staats. The league has concluded its review regarding Austin Staats and has reinstated him from investigative leave. Staats will be eligible to be signed by any club at the beginning of the 2026 free agency period, which is just around the corner. Question to the gentleman here. If he's got a record, can he get across the border?
No.
So,
No.
that kind of limits him to only Canadian teams playing in Canadian cities, which eliminates him from half the teams in the league or more and half the games in the league or more. That creates a bit of a problem.
What was it? Back in 2010 or somewhere around that era, 2010, 2011, Michael Richards, who used to play for the Philadelphia Flyers, was trying to smuggle drugs. If the story's correct, he was trying to smuggle drugs across the north border and he got caught and was banned for a while. But I mean, then again, with athletes, I can see them trying to bend the rules a little bit, trying to. It's tough ground to get into. I do see like a forgiveness policy. He is an athlete, and he does represent for a team, so he's going to have to try. It's going to be tough if they can pull it off. I still say no.
I am all into giving second chances. If you've done your time and you've paid your dues, and you've worked on rehabilitation, and if anybody watched the show that I had with Miles General a couple of weeks back, he has most certainly worked upon recovery. He has most certainly worked upon helping others recover as well. And he is a consistent member of the Seven Sticks Foundation, in which is a support group for Indigenous. And I am all for giving second chances. However, is there a team out there that wants to go out on a limb? We were looking at this during the week, guys, at is there a Canadian team, just supposing that he can't get over the border? Is there a Canadian team that has the need of him? We looked at Vancouver. Don't see a need. We looked at Saskatchewan. Don't see a need. Toronto. Don't see a need. Calgary, maybe, but I really like their nucleus. I can't see that going in there. Oshawa. Will it screw with the chemistry? They need something, but they also have a draft coming up. Ottawa, if they're even going to be in Ottawa. There's a place that can go. We know in Halifax that his brother and him don't really get along, and Halifax just came from the finals. I really don't think they need him. So where is this place that he can go that he can fit, because you're talking about one of the most talented players on the face of the planet when he's in the right headspace. And from all the accounts that I'm hearing, he's getting back there rapidly. We have another problem, and I don't know how far the OLA steps its bounds into, is that he is at the moment banned from playing in OLA competition, which is why he is playing, I believe, on one of the reservations for summer. But will he be able to play in Ontario, which houses a couple of teams? Mike, I want to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting dilemma. I mean, I want to touch on a couple of things before I really kind of get to the question you asked. One, I've heard reports that he did sign with Newtown in the Can-Am League.
Right.
So I don't know if that's okay. That is,
yeah,
that's confirmed. Okay. The second thing is, some of the other comments I've seen, how can the NLL do this? How can they let him back in the league? It's setting a bad example. And, I hate to go back to it, but Gary, you and I, good old Elbowgate. When Callum Crawford, got suspended for 2 games for his hit on Brad Cree, back in, was it 2019?
Yeah.
2019. Just reading the comments about, people upset with the league for reinstating him. I mean, the players' union is there for a reason. Same thing with that situation back in 19. Callum Crawford had the right to appeal the suspension that was given to him. It went to an independent arbitrator. I mean, if there was anything odd about the whole process, it was the fact that based on the rules as they were interpreted at the time, the decision really should have been no suspension at all or a 6-game suspension. The independent arbitrator decided to give 2 games. I don't know that we ever really got the reasoning behind the 2 games, but, he did sit out 2 games, and that was kind of the end of it. And people, he shouldn't have, why should we be allowed to appeal? Well, that's what the players' union's all about.
That's what's in the contract.
Could it have been different if Brad Cree had gotten seriously injured? Maybe at that point, Crawford decides, okay, listen, I hurt this guy, I'll just sit out, take the punishment, whatever, I think we need to stress that, there isn't a gray area here, that every player has the right to go through the union to appeal, a decision or a punishment that's been handed down to them.
Right.
So,
let's also remember he didn't not serve anything. He hasn't been playing in the last 2 years.
Yeah. And I think what was it, 7, 9 games or something like that? The initial punishment, and and even then, nothing had been proven in a court of law. How can you punish them? And the people who made those comments have obviously since discovered, he was convicted, my understanding, of some sort of crime that's, now put him in this position that he may have trouble getting signed, being able to travel across the border, and so on. As far as the teams, I mean, it's tough. It's gonna be quite the risk reward analysis that any GM is going to have to do at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shawn, what's your take on all this?
Yeah, Gary, I am with you with, he has served his time and second chances. I think we do also have to take in consideration that he has had multiple off-field incidents that were quite serious. I'm going back, of course, the PLL incident that got him banned from PLL. Obviously, it wasn't a legal issue in that case that I can remember, even though it was quite serious. So this is almost like a third or fourth chance. I'm still fine with it. I mean, and it kind of going back to what Mike said about that black eye, it's funny because you look at when they put out that press release, it was 4:00 on a Friday. So it's quite obvious that's, PR 101, right? If you want to put out some bad news that you really don't want picked up, you put it out late in the day on Friday and hope it just kind of gets washed under. As for, Gary, your question, of all those, options you've listed, all I can see is, an Ontario team, whether it's Ottawa, if they're still there, and let's just say, for instance, it is Ottawa is sticking around, or Oshawa. And now do we see the OLA get involved with that, even though, NLL, OLA, I don't know how much they can overlap in that. And even if with the cross-border thing, Pat was mentioning an exemption. There could be an exemption if the team kind of works it through with immigration and border crossing. But again, is it worth the hassle of a team to go through that?
Right. Even the ALL, I know Paul doesn't work with the OLA, and he does it on his own merits. So does he want to take a chance and have him in the ALL even? I'm not sure.
I guess that's where I'm at with, talking about those second chances. I feel like this is it for him. Like,
oh yeah, it'd be a short leash.
Yeah, like if there's one more slip up, I don't see him getting any more chances. Like that's it.
And he shouldn't. But if he is legit in his recovery and his road, there is no reason why we should be. Oh no, he can't play. No. That's like saying someone who got out of prison can't get a job anymore. No,
yeah.
Can't anymore.
No, I'm with you on that one. Yeah,
that's ridiculous. But again, and understood beforehand of what the parameters are and know what can and cannot be done or acceptable or what is over the line. That has to be absolutely in granite of what is over the line, and that's it, goodbye. And what is not over the line, where no matter what the Monday morning quarterbacks stay at home, it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. If the man has done his time, which he has, if he is working on recovery, which he is, I don't see why we can't figure out a way that he gets back in. And the NLL actually, to their credit, took a step forward and has done this. Now it's up to the teams whether they want to take that risk. Now, I don't know again. Can he go on the other side of the border if by some way they have this done? Because I'm pretty sure that half the NFL have records at one point or another. I'm being generous. And they seem to be able to make it across the board, off the overseas to do these London games and things. So I'm sure that there is a way for a professional athlete to get around some of this stuff under supervision of the team. And under supervision.
So for me, like Shawn was saying too, there's only so many second chances you can have, and like you said too, Gary. Look, the NL is making it, open their arms to this guy. But however, though, which is great, they're trying to still work with them and trying to, show like a forgiveness program. But in the back of your mind, as a team, as a general manager, as a coach, and all that stuff. Do you want to allow that into your locker room? Do you want that? Do you possibly want this guy's got he's got too many cases right now. Do I want to bring that, across the border? And is that going to be a distraction for the locker room I have currently getting built? Like you said, you can't go, you're not looking at Vancouver. You're not looking at Toronto's. You're not looking like Oshawa or maybe like hopefully Ottawa's still there. And that could be, a landing spot, potential landing spot, but in the back of your mind, you're like, do I want that in my locker room, or can I do better without building it? I mean, like you said, someone's going to want to. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Maybe he doesn't get a start right away, but if you're looking at a record, you're 1-4 or 5. You know, your mind will start to ponder as a front businessman. Like, you need to start winning. Winnings, managers don't care. Business is business at the end of the day. Same thing of Ottawa. Ottawa is in a predicament, like they're not sure if they're going to have a home or not. This is their only one chance at romance. Hey, listen, you put butts in seats, and if this guy can do it for you, hey, listen, it's going to be a ticket sale. You're going to want to
remember also that a lot of this had to do with substance abuse. Now, if this is the road to recovery and that is out, I know that Miles General has completely turned a new leaf over.
What's his position?
Miles, who's that?
The guy we're talking about there. Staats.
Staats is a lefty forward.
So he can't I was hoping maybe he'll switch positions, take goalie, and then you could take it away from Zach Higgins. Yeah.
Well, the other point I want to make there too, and it's something that Gary brought up, is everything aside with his off-field instance, is are you going to take a risk also in bringing in a guy who hasn't played high-level lacrosse in 2 years? We know the talent he has, but he still hasn't played high-level lacrosse in 2 years. How much rust has he got to kick off now?
Right. But again, I think you have a much milder Austin Staats, and might be that go-to guy in the dressing room. Who knows? You would have that reform guy, but someone's going to have to reach out and take the chance in order to do it, because we're never going to find out otherwise. But who? That's the question.
I think we've kind of answered it. It's pretty much Calgary or Ottawa. Maybe it looks better if let's just say Ottawa does move to Edmonton, just hypothetically, maybe they could still make it work, because then he's not in Ontario. He's not necessarily subject to OLA. Not that we.
I don't think
that. I don't think that.
Pound sand, really.
Exactly. I don't think that's they can use it as a blanket to cover NLL play, but if he joins with Ottawa,
aren't they left side heavy?
They are, but at least
that fellow named Teeth, right?
Yeah, but there's another fellow named Larson Sundown.
True.
There's a little bit of a link there, both being Native American, and
Travis Longbow too, don't you?
Well, we won't go into it, but Larson Sundown, is also a recovery patient, if you will. He is he had some documented issues while at RIT, or before RIT even.
Right.
And he's shown himself, he's to be in good standing now, enough so that, the organization entrusted him to help design their uniforms.
Right. Like I say, I am heavy on getting that second chance with a shorter leash and earning your spot and earning to regular normalcy down the road, because I don't think that leash should be there forever. As you prove yourself, it's like hitting checkpoints.
Absolutely.
And of course, the end game is if you mess up, you're gone. The end. But if you are able to stay and do what you are paid to do, welcome. enjoy resuming your career. And who cares what the guy in the 17th row says, or the keyboard cowboy who's typing at home, flailing away there. Who gives a damn?
Who's not informed, who doesn't know what's going on.
Right, who's just got an opinion, and opinions are like, blah, everybody's got one.
And I'll tell you what, though, listen, from experience, right, with Michael Vick here, right, nobody wanted him suited up for the Eagles, right? Everyone cried wolf about why did the Eagles take him in? He's this, that, and the third. Guess what? When the wins came, all that mumbo jumbo, off the field stuff went right out the window.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sports fans are notoriously short-memoried when their team is winning.
Just like me, I got a mind like a goldfish. I'll forget within 5 minutes.
Yeah, the only other thing I would just add is the connection, the potential connection with Sundown in Ottawa or Edmonton or wherever they end up, versus Calgary, where I'm not sure, does Calgary even have a Native American player on their roster?
I don't think at the moment they do. No,
I don't think so. No.
I really don't think that is the be all end all if it means playing.
Oh, it won't be. No, it won't be. But just it's just one of so many factors that will need to be taken into consideration here.
He wasn't crazy about going to San Diego every week. Would going to Calgary is almost as long a flight. Mind you, there's no border to deal with. And then again, if you're not hiding anything, then this doesn't become a problem. And if you're accompanied by the team and, to take care of all the other headaches that you're going to get at the airport. Because that's not easy anymore, even for a regular Joe. Not for the last 25 years or so. However, to stay back on point, if he can get a team, I think we should welcome him with open arms. And then let him decide his fate. Either he becomes the star he did, he falls a step or two down because he's rusty, or he messes up and is gone. But it's on him. Give him the opportunity. That's all you can do. That's all we ask, is give him the opportunity, since he has already paid his dues and has worked on more rehab than most. And it's not about game or not game. It's about life or death, really. Miles went into detail again. This is a show that you really want to watch. And there will be a part 2 because we didn't touch on half of the things that I wanted to touch on with him because we ran out of time. But he talked about a number of things. You don't win every single one, and they've lost some along the way. But they've won many. And they've gone into prisons and gone and rehabilitated other people. And, it's a different style. It's not county. It's not provincial. It's not just give me my check and let me get out of there. These are guys who legitimately care and work. And this is all they think about day and night, about, getting people out of where they were. So when Miles tells me something, I've been able to forge a good relationship with him. I believe what he tells me. And he went into detail about how this, no holds barred, no punches pulled.
So let me ask, would a situation like that, because I just kind of had this idea that, we're excluding half the teams, all of them being south of the border in the States. What if he were to, let's just say, take up a residence in Onondaga Nation?
Okay.
For the year. Kind of like, some of the core bandits guys who, are from, anywhere from, Kitchener out to New Westminster,
right.
But they're all living in Buffalo, in a condo or something, during the season.
Mm-hmm.
What if Austin Staats did that, took up residence in Onondaga? Now he's in the States. Now he's available to 7 teams in the States instead of necessarily the 7 teams in Canada.
Okay.
But does being in this program
Okay, well, let's go with that one, Mark. First.
Preclude.
With this one, actually, would it work? You mentioned Buffalo. They're rebuilding. Would this be a time when Chucker would take a chance and put him with a bunch of other native players close to Onondaga, Syracuse, and work that way?
Could work. I mean,
And you're talking about a rabid fan base that would have absolutely the mind of a goldfish if he was positively producing there.
Certainly, and they, well, let's not beat around the bush here. We've seen people in Banditland, make comments to the effect of, "Who's protecting Josh Byrne?" And it's not Ian McKay, and it can't be Nanico because he's on the other side of the floor.
Right. And they never got anybody really to replace Chris Kluche. And wouldn't Staats fit in there real nice?
Yeah.
So if they can get it across the border, that opens up that. Philadelphia comes to mind because they're already in a really good rebuild. Let's just suppose they're staying in that neck of the woods. And if he's able to go there, he would be an immediate impact there as well on the left side, in which they are depleted.
And it's funny, you like the minute you mentioned about Staats needing a home, I know, he may not be able to play here in the States, but then again, we mentioned, all these athletes had issues, right? I can't see it, but if he's going to be in the NLL, he's going to get the green light to play potential for a States team. And like you said, Philly getting a potential staying in the area of whether it's going to be here, Trent, whatever. But, Uncle Paulie would definitely take in any sorts of help. Uncle Paulie looks for that kind of stuff.
Well, I also look at
he's the guy Paul Day missed because of the coin flip.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had Philadelphia won that coin flip, Austin Staats would have gone number 1 to Philadelphia.
How about that?
Picking Chris Kluche, and then obviously the subsequent trade and things didn't work out. And
also, isn't the goalie on Vegas 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup? Isn't it the former Flyers goalie?
Carl Hart.
Yeah, who just got out of the trials over here, where everybody had these poor guys hung out to dry, except for the courts who allowed them to.
And another right. It seemed another story, right?
The other 4 guys, I don't think made it back to the NHL. Only Carter Hart did, and he's 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup now.
Yeah, Gary, I was enjoying myself. I'm about to start my phone party is about to not foam anymore. Listen, that's another story. They ridiculed him. I don't want him on this team if he's got all this other stuff. And like you just mentioned, this guy is now two games away from winning a cup. You know what I mean? You know how many Flyer fans I've come across crying, begging him to come back here already. So again, winnings in sports solves all. So winnings do that for you. And I'm missing Carhart, right? I'm about to start shedding tears.
That's about Philadelphian goalies, I tell you. Doesn't seem to matter in sport, eh? Philadelphian goalies.
Hey, Matt DeLuca's okay this week.
Yes. I'll stick in that one. Yeah. Just to finish up our little chat here on Staats, the consensus is he deserves a second chance. And what the league did is correct. Am I correct in going around the table with that, Mike?
Yeah, I believe so. It's just going to come down to it's the ball's in the GM's court now.
Right. Shawn?
Yeah, I'm right with you, Gary and Mike. I mean, I think, yes, second chance. I also believe it's in the GM's court as well, and I agree with you, Gary, that I believe that it has to be a short leash, though.
Right. Pat?
I agree. I think the Staats will get the NLL welcomes with open arms, but hey, listen, he knows that all eyes are going to be on him for every thing that he could do wrong. He blows his nose the wrong way, he's going to be looked at funny. But listen, he knows what he's got to do to win everyone over and be a ball hog and really put this. He's going to have to be one of those players that have to put his game. If there's a team or GM that gives him an opportunity, he's got to make the best of it. No turning back.
One of the other things that I mentioned also was there has to be a line that is clear of what is over the line and what isn't over the line, because I don't want to read in the press or read in the comments everywhere that no, he did this, no, that elbow was too high. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it.
You don't know the players, and they're going to, especially the players, the opposition players are going to try to draw that. Hey, try and pick a fight with this guy, trying to, get him to do a dirty move, whatever, to get, draw him out. But this is his playoffs now. He's got to make the best of this opportunity. But I'm with Shawn just from an X and O's point. 2 years. I mean, you got to work off a lot of rust there, and hopefully he can whip himself into game shape and be ready to get ready to be a boss player.
I want to actually take Gary's idea one less step further here because, with the clear line, I don't even think it's more on the field stuff. Like that's in the rule book. There's, clear lines in that. I think it's more what happens because his more issues are off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what acceptable behavior when you're not on the field.
And that's all he's got to worry about. Listen, just worry about the XOs. If you're on the road, go in your hotel, stay in your room, study. Just be a bookworm.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's a lot to do with being in your own personal thing.
Yeah, headspace.
Stay there. Find clarity. And, I hope he succeeds immensely. I hope a year from now we're talking about the second coming because it's a two thing here, man. We're talking about rust from not playing. That's if you're 22 and you didn't play since you were 20. Then you get the rust off and you go. But you're 2 years older now, and the league has got a bunch of guys. If you're watching summer ball and watching the 18 and 19-year-olds just tearing it up.
Yeah.
They're coming in as rookies or second-year players next year. And if you don't think the speed has increased over the last 2 years, I don't know what you're watching because it's insanely quick. And if you stepped off the bus for a little bit and you're going to try and run to get on that bus again, you're going to have to run 3 times as fast as you did before, which you really didn't have to try because you were so talented. Now you're going to have to work. Does the work ethic stay that allows you to do this? So there's a whole bunch of variables just to get to that spot. It's all fine and good to say, yep, he's going to get in, he's going to be a star. He's got a hell of a lot of work ahead of him.
Yeah.
Summer ball is a great start, but that's by no means.
It's funny, Gary, because you bring up the ALL, and so I know we want to move on here, but you brought up the ALL, and maybe, that's might just be the best route for him because, he can prove himself both on and off the field. Just by going to a little bit of a lower level and say, hey, you know what, NLL GMs, I'm reformed. I, fixed all my issues. I'm kicking off the rust in the LL. I'm ready to go now.
Half the games are in 6 nations too. So that would be a home turf thing with a lot of support. So it may not be a bad idea. Yeah. All right, let's leave it there. We're going to revisit this as we get information, especially as free agency comes upon us in the next month or so. We don't have any CBAs to knock everything back 4 months and stuff like that. So we can actually do things at the right time frame. It's funny though. I did mention to Jamie Dalwick last week when we had the Rock celebration, just a little under the cuff kind of. Aren't you glad you went through all that CBA crap and got it done? Yes. Sorry, Pat.
What is that?
One of the main reasons, Pat. You might want to just Nick Rowlett, the trade from Philadelphia, who became the absolute star on faceoffs. But if you've noticed, most of the Toronto Rock guys are barely playing summer ball, because I was astounded to see how many people were in slings, in casts, in boots, because they were beaten up from the second game of the San Diego series. Mark Matthews, from rumors that he's not going to be playing summer ball, even though he just signed with Brooklyn, because he did his hand in and had to have surgery. So Josh Tolwick hasn't played a game for Oakville yet. He's the captain because he got slashed across the hands in the San Diego series and played the entire Halifax series with a hand that basically wasn't worth much. And if you don't think you got to pay the dues to actually win a championship in the NLL, you are nuts.
Think again.
You are nuts. Like I say, it looked like sick bay as they were hobbling in to go raise the trophy. There's a reason why a couple of them raised it at a time. Each of them had one wing. Right? But hey, Rowlett was another one like that. His hand was all messed up. And it's interesting watching these guys try to sign autographs for kids when they basically had to go and stick it in their cast in their but hey, that's the way it goes, eh? It's called paying your dues. But anyways, let's get into PLL. I got Pat here, so we're going to be talking some PLL. Did I
hear you say, not a lot of guys from Toronto Rock are not playing summer ball? Did I not? Because there's a fine gentleman that helped you, the Toronto Rock, win championships, and then he comes play for the Philadelphia Water Dogs, and he puts up not one, not two, but 6 points. And it was a curse on curse on curse crime. That's all I gotta say. He thumped up his two brothers.
Like that was cursed, man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Of course, he got on. Danhausen. He's been on the Knicks now, right?
Yes.
And he cursed Carolina, and that's the end of Carolina. So Vegas will win the cup. It's not a bad gimmick, man.
No, I should have thought about that gimmick a long time ago. Instead of running around with gold tights, that's a here or there. But it's amazing though. But when I watched CJ Curse, man, and just the playmaker that he was on Saturday, just scoring in transition, down low, doing the dirty work, and not just him. I mean, I guess that was the Bill Tierney playbook. Just mellowed down, watered down the Boston Cannons defense, and they just ran circles around them, going around, score. Michael Sowers doing Michael Sauer things, scoring, being a facilitator. You had, and then you have the Young Bucks who made an imprint on this team. You had Kyle Lewis, a Division II player who came out and made a nice little, got a pair of goals. Then you have Josh Yago with a goal and a 2-pointer. So, I would say right now, Philly's doing their things. And this was a big win without Karen McCarr really being on the score sheet, which is huge.
Yes, absolutely.
Say it with me, Pat. Midfield production.
You're getting it. You know what I mean? You are definitely getting some midfield production from this squad. You're getting help from everywhere right now. And like I said, like I said, Karen McCarl not being a big time playmaker for you guys is outstanding. Josh Yago being a threat to now you got dual weapons. Now you got an interior offense. The only problem, if you want to nitpick about the Water Dogs, is that my son bringing a chicken. Is that they took their foot off the gas pedal in the fourth quarter, and they can't be doing that.
Yeah. And the guys on the broadcast did mention that because of that earlier beating that they took from the Cannons a few weeks ago to the tune of 19-5. Really hurt their goal differential. It will be interesting to see. They led 15-3 or 15-5 at one point, and allowed Boston to reel off 5 more goals in the fourth quarter. So hopefully that that doesn't kill their goal differential too much. I think they're at -7 now, but that could easily have been a lot closer to 0 and a lot better shape, come week 13.
But it's so, and here's the problem: you get this big win now for the Water Dogs, and now you don't even play until the end of the month. Which, hindsight can really, really hurt you because you got to gear up for that Archer team. And, honestly, you have to deal with Connor Fields and all those guys. It's not going to be a day at the beach, though. But, getting back to this game, though, I was very impressed with this win. This sounded like a team that needed a win after getting embarrassed from the Boston Cannons the last go-around, losing 19-5. You needed this win, and they came in a little hungry, and I'm glad that Bill Tierney dialed up a game plan, recognizing what he has on this team. The team's gelling together. Like I said, it's youth going wild, and like I said, they watered down that Boston Cannon defense. I mean, they just couldn't keep pace. Every time they went to a man-to-man zone, the Water Dogs were just trying to beat it every chance they got. So very impressed.
Very good. All right. Let's have a look at some of the other games there. Let's go with the first one, Mike. The Carolina game.
That was actually Pat's game.
Oh,
I got that one too.
Oh, another good score.
Another good
This is
shocker.
the first time we've seen the Archers actually move forward. And boy, did they ever get a beat down last week.
Gary, I understand, and Mike, Shawn, I understand why you guys love the sport. When I think I have all the answers to my pick'ems, they throw me through 18 different loopholes. I figured, I'm watching this, Carolina team. They're at home. They should be able to steamroll right through this Archers team. And no, that wasn't the case at all, because I see Chad Palumbo bully their and their defensemen are just as big as Chad Palumbo, if not bigger, and you ain't going to bully those guys down low. You're not going to be able to push them around, and that led to a plan B, which they really didn't have a plan B to score with. Now, you went with the Archers; they got plenty of different scoring options. They could go to Connor Fields, but which he was a playmaker, but Mac O'Keefe, 7 goals in this game, 7 goals. He literally picked apart Carolina's defense. He went through their grocery store, whatever he wanted, he just took away from him. I mean, it was just nuts.
Yeah, tied a single game PLL record with that effort. So
he put a whole touchdown by himself. I mean, unreal.
I was going to say the number that jumped out to me: Brett Dobson, 68% save percentage.
Where have we seen that before?
God. Yeah, I know, right? Like, field box, it doesn't really matter with Dobson.
Not at all, eh?
Yeah, transpose those numbers and you get his box save percentage there from this year, probably.
Frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just that good.
Yeah, so like I said, the Archers got things rocking and rolling, and I was expecting that Carolina, after they just beat the daylights out of the Water Dogs, I thought they were going to come into here, and especially being at home and defending home turf, I thought it was going to be the complete opposite. I thought they were going to dominate the scoreboard, and now the complete opposite. I don't know if they got homesick. I don't know what it is. They caught the wrong side of the stick, and it didn't matter. They played very well on both ends of the field.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. We have California and the New York Atlas.
How you doing,
I
Gary?
swear to God, this is going to be rip it out by the root watching the Atlas play.
Yeah. Another tough one for the Atlas. They dropped to 1-3, losing 12-11 to the Redwoods. Another goalie who several years ago was, much like Dobson, the best goaltender in the world in both field and box. Dylan Ward, 15 saves on the night for the Redwoods. You got a hat trick from Chris Kavanaugh, 2 goals and an assist from Andrew McAdory. Mikey Boehm had a goal and 3 assists. Dylan Malloy a goal and 2 assists. Couple of rookies. Since we're on the subject of so many rookies in the PLL performing, Michael Leo and Cullen Brown each get their first career goal in a Redwoods uniform to contribute to the victory. For the Atlas, claiming Matt Rambo off waivers from the Whipsnakes and made an impact immediately. At least in the first quarter, very first touch, he scores a goal. He ends up adding 2 assists. But the Atlas offense is struggling a little bit. 2 goals and an assist each for Xander Dixon and Connor Schellenberger. Those definitely aren't Connor Schellenberger-like numbers. Levi Anderson had a pair of goals. Hugh Kelleher, a goal and a 2-point goal. There's another Toronto Rock guy who's going right into summer ball and making an impact. Trevor Baptiste, 14 of 25 on faceoffs, 14 ground balls. So if they needed it to sting a little more, they certainly had plenty of chances to take control of this game. Liam Enterman, 7 saves. That is a bit concerning as well.
That's not the first game.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about it in his third game. About the numbers were absolutely upside down from what we're used to. Which leads me to think
It's almost feeling like a sophomore slump or something, even though he's not really a sophomore.
Mm-hmm. I'm just starting to think, is he hurt? Because this looks a lot like Dylan Ward a couple of years ago.
And who's their backup?
They're by themselves, right? They didn't have one.
They don't have a goal. Nothing of any sort.
They must have.
Not yet.
It's not Tim Troutner, is it?
There is no one listed.
I didn't think so.
Really? Wow, that's odd.
Yeah.
Not
That's frightening is what that is.
Yeah.
Because
carry a second goalie on your roster. I mean, unless you were
a lot of these teams don't have a second
trying
goalie.
to leave that spot open for Teat or something, hoping he wouldn't opt out and opt for surgery or whatever.
Yeah, well, this is looking dire now.
Yeah, that is definitely baffling.
Oh, here you go, guys. Actually, I'm just on the Atlas roster now. Will Mark is listed as a goalie.
Okay.
He's parking cars, actually, and we're going to give him a stick.
It is crazy for New York. You lose Jeff T and all else fails. Like all else fails. Like you now, if you're the opposing coach, or you just say, "Hey, look, take Xander Dixon out the game. All eyes on him." And then now, like you said, it is concerning Liam Enterman is facing a potential injury somewhere on his body and not telling nobody, because that's not like him. He's usually a brick wall, but the defense could be an issue too.
Because the depth is there. There's
Right.
lots of depth on the Atlas.
Yeah, really on both sides of the ball. I mean, I haven't heard a single person talk about them missing Gavin Adler because they ended up getting Ben Randall.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. All I know is that it's painful right now for me to watch them. I have a tear.
Yeah, 1-3. I mean, they're going into a break, but then they've got 2 weeks from now, I believe. It's their homecoming, week 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they got 2 games 2 weeks from now. where they'll be taking on the Cannons, who are also 1-3.
Starting desperation mode now. Both teams are going to be desperation mode.
And then you have the red hot Maryland Whipsnakes.
Nothing but good news on the horizon.
Yeah.
Positive reinforcements there, Gary. Positive reinforcements you are.
Yeah. Dear Senator.
And then they essentially have 2 weeks off after that because they have a bye in week 6, and then week 7 is the All-Star break. So this could be rough, especially if they're 1-5 going into the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Anyways, let's get off this. Let's go over to Denver and Carolina. Another 1-goal game, which I was on the wrong end of.
Yep, and the Chaos do salvage a split of their homecoming weekend with a 12-11 win over the Outlaws. They did lead 7-5 at the half. Chad Palumbo again, just lighting it up. A hat trick and his second game-winning goal in 3 professional games in his career. Shane Knobloch had a pair of goals. Brendan Nickturn a goal and 2 assists. Scott Smith had a goal and an assist, a key goal, with about 6 seconds left in the third quarter to tie the game up. Going into the fourth. You got a goal each from Owen Hiltz, Jackson Eicher, Ross Scott, Eric Spanos, and Christian Scarpello. And Blaze Reardon shutting the door. That game-winning goal from Palumbo came about 4.5 minutes, I believe, into the fourth quarter. And Blaze shut the door the rest of the way. So that was 7+ scoreless minutes after taking the lead for good. For the Outlaws, Logan Wisnauskas, pair of goals. Pat Cavanaugh, a pair of goals. Graham Bundy, a pair of goals. You had a 2-point goal and 2 assists from Brendan O'Neill. Jake Pisano had a goal and 2 assists. Evan Plunkett, his first career goal. Zach Geddes had a goal. Luke Weirman, big day, 16-24 at the dot, 8 ground balls. Logan McNaney, 13 saves. Jared Bernhardt did not play due to injury. So definitely something to watch out for with Denver is once they can finally get everyone healthy, they can definitely be dangerous. So, they're 2-2. And then they are off. They off in week 5? Week 5's kind of weird. There's only 3 PLL games. And 3 teams are off. Yeah. Chaos, Outlaws, and Water Dogs all have a bye in week 5. So they're basically off for 2 weeks. So there's no games next week.
Interesting. Well, it's looking dire over here. Really is no.
Yeah, well,
no one really did any good.
As dire as it is,
death where is thy sting.
Yeah. None of these teams are going to have to deal with what the Boston Guard have to deal with. They met the California Palms with both teams pretty much needing a win to effectively keep their championship game hopes alive, since their WLL is only playing a 4-game season. The Guard led 11-7 at the half, but they got outscored by the Palms 10-4 in the second half, losing 17-15. Worst news of all came in the fourth quarter for the Boston Guard. Charlotte North arguably the best player in the women's game, goes down with a non-contact injury to her lower body. I really, really hope it's not serious. For the sake of both the guard and the league and the women's game in general. But to me, it did not look good. Let's hope it's just a strain or a sprain, and not the high ankle sprain, which is basically tell me my leg's broken without telling me it's broken. North did finish with 4 goals and 2 assists. Rachel Clark had 4 goals and an assist for Boston. Andy Aldave had 2 goals. Kenzie Kent a goal and an assist. Big game for rookie Maddie Epke, 23 of 29 draw controls and 16 ground balls. Shea Dolce had 11 saves in the loss. And for the Palms, who lit it up in the second half, Ali Mastroianni, 4 goals and an assist. Emma Pinto had 3 goals and 2 assists. She currently leads the WLL in scoring with 11 points through 2 games. Jill Smith, 2 goals, 3 assists. Ellie Mazara had a hat trick. And Taylor Moreno, 13 saves in net. And I would add that the Palms did not have top draft pick Madison Taylor in the lineup for this game. So imagine when she returns. Now, good news, if you can call it good for the guard. This is kind of a double-edged sword. We're talking about all these little breaks that Atlas and some of these other teams have. The guard are 0-2. They don't play again until July 17th. That is like 2 weeks after the All-Star break. So they effectively have 6 weeks off before they play their 3rd game. By which time, when they're playing the Maryland Charm, it will actually be the Maryland Charm's last regular season game of 4.
Yeah.
So, it could certainly give, if this injury isn't season ending for Charlotte North, she has a month and a half to hopefully heal and get back in the lineup. But then the guard are off basically almost another month again before they play their last game, which is the week before the championship game. And ironically enough, it's against the California Palms.
Right.
So tough road for Boston. California does even their record at 1-1. And 2 weeks from now, we get the Charm and the New York Charging, who are both 1-0 right now, and that's the first of 2 that they play against each other. So that's going to be another crucial game in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So that brings us over summer ball inside and sports. Adam, as always, for jumping in with the Staats routine and jumping in for your PLL coverage. Appreciate it immensely.
Hey, listen, anytime I appreciate being on with you guys, and just let me know when Staats takes Higgins' job, and I'll be okay with that. That'll be fun. You guys have a good one, and what's up, Big? And you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys next week or so.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, fellas.
Everyone, Pat.
See you guys.
All right. Pat Bernard with his PLL take, as well as his take on Staats. Very poignant points on both. All right, Shawn, why don't you bring us up to speed with some Western Lacrosse Junior?
Yep, you bet. Yeah, you bet. Actually, a real exciting week in the Junior A's with BC. We had 3 overtime games. On Tuesday, the Adnaks came away with a 8-7 overtime win over New Westminster. Wednesday, Port Coquitlam Saints with an 11-8 win over the Lakers. Thursday, we saw Langley, definitely a team to watch out for, especially with Caleb Kahn on net. They had a 10-7 win over New Westminster. Friday, another 1-goal game. Port Coquitlam Saints with a 6-5 win over the Delta Islanders. Saturday, we had 2 overtime games. Coquitlam with another overtime win, a 5-4 win over the Nanaimo Timbermen. And then the Victoria Shamrocks with a 9-8 overtime win over the Langley Thunder. And actually, right now, earlier today, we had a final Nanaimo, a 9-7 win over the Langley Thunder. And we're currently in the second period, and the Port Coquitlam Saints have a 6-5 lead over the Victoria Shamrocks. So looking at the the BC Junior A standings, you have Coquitlam up in the lead with 6 wins and 1 tie. The Langley Thunder with 6 wins, 2 losses, and that tie. New Westminster's at 4-3, as well as the Victoria Shamrocks. Burnaby Lakers are 3-3. Port Coquitlam Saints are 3-4. Then you have the Delta Islanders at 1-6, and the Nanaimo Timbermen at 1-7. Over to Rocky Mountain Junior A for Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. On Friday, the Edmonton Miners came away with a 14-8 win over the Winnipeg Blizzard. Saturday, we had 2 games. We saw the Okotoks Raiders with an 11-10 win over the Calgary Mounties. Also on Saturday, the Miners came away with a 12-8 win over the Blizzards. Then earlier today, we had the Edmonton Miners winning 16-5 over the Blizzards. And also earlier today, the Okotoks Raiders picked up a 13-12 win over the Mounties as well. So looking at that standings, you have the Okotoks Raiders at 6-0, the Edmonton Miners at 5-3, the Calgary Mounties at 3-3, the Winnipeg Blizzards in their first year in the league at 2-4, and the Saskatchewan SWAT at 1-7. And into Saskatchewan, Junior B action, close game on Friday night. The Winnipeg Blizzards came away with a 9-8 win over the Moose Jaw Mustangs. Saturday, we saw Prince Albert come away with a 16-9 win over the Swift Current Wolverines. And also on Saturday, the Moose Jaw Mustangs came away with a 12-9 win over the Blizzards. And earlier today, the Blizzards came away with a 14-2 win over the Weyburn Razorbacks. So the standings in the Junior Bs, you have the Prince Albert Predators at 6-1, the Winnipeg Blizzards at 6-3, Swift Current Wolverines at 6-5, the Moose Jaw Mustangs at 5-4, and the Weyburn Razorbacks at 0-10. And then on to Senior B. On Tuesday, Standing Buffalo with a 21-12 win over the Saskatoon SWAT. Interesting, we don't have a score of Prince Albert Outlaws at the Regina Heat. Now, I know last Sunday, the 31st, Prince Albert announced that they had to cancel a game due to wildfires in the North Saskatchewan. They had several players affected by the wildfires. So I'm thinking probably they had another cancellation due to the wildfires. So hopefully everyone's safe. And totally understandable having to cancel that one. And then the also Saturday, the Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux with a 28-6 win over the Saskatoon SWAT. Then earlier today, Moose Jaw Mafia with a 10-0 win over the Prince Albert Outlaws, and the Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux 12-7. And exciting week coming up, especially. The Fighting Sioux Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux are going to be in Moose Jaw on Friday, so I'm really hoping to be out to that game. That's the plan, at least. So if you're at that game, come on by, say hi. Looking forward to seeing some of the guys with the rush over there and Schatz and all those guys.
Absolutely. Eduardo, hi, Grant. Thank you for being with us live from Jacksonville. Appreciate it. Over in Junior in Ontario, well, we were wondering when Kitchener would put it together. Well, Monday, They met Peterborough. They put it together. 11-3. They put it together. This is what we expected. We had Orangeville and the Beaches going at it on Tuesday, 7-5 for Orangeville. They are still rocking along. Oakville beat up on Whitby 12-9. Six Nations and St. Catharines battled to a absolute heart-wrenching loss for Six Nations. St. Catharines pulled it out 11-9. I think it had something to do with maybe Latrell Harris in the championship there. Yeah, maybe. Brampton beat up on Burlington 12-6. Orangeville later in the week, Thursday, took another victory over Six Nations, 8-6. Whitby were the next victims of Kitchener, losing 10-7. Brampton, staying neck and neck with Kitchener, beat Peterborough 10-8. On Friday, Mimico and Elora, 13-6 for Mimico. Mimico turned around on Saturday and lost to St. Catharines 11-10. The Beaches and Elora wound up in a slobber knocker. It was 17-16, a loss in overtime.
Wow.
Yeah. You got your money's worth out of that one for sure. And a couple of them that went today. St. Catharines beat Burlington 12-7. And the Six Nations Arrows beat Oakville 13-7. Looking at the standings, Orangeville in the East is on top at 4-1. Brampton is at 3-3 with Peterborough. Whitby also. Mimico 2-6. Beaches 1-5. In the West, St. Catharines is at 7-1. Six Nations at 5-3. Kitchener is coming up the rear now at 5-2. Oakville 3-2. Burlington 2-5. Elora 2-4. But from what we're seeing in these scores, anybody can win on any given day. So this is going to be a very interesting summer, I think, especially when you mortgage the next 2 decades of your franchise. That you are not perfect right now would be a bit concerning. But who knew that St. Catharines would keep on winning after last year, to keep going. I wonder, do you think Kitchener can do it? How many first round picks? 14 or something like that? 12 or second round picks. Unbelievable. Anyways, we move on over into Ontario Series Lacrosse. We had 4 really good games this weekend. We have an inaugural victor. The Belleville Kodiaks last night were able to beat the Hamilton Bengals 6-5 for their first ever franchise victory. After trailing by 2 goals entering the third, Belleville mounted a really impressive third period to beat Hamilton 6-5. The Bengals controlled much of the first 40 minutes, buying goals from Eddie Renault, Colin Mayer, Colton Armitage, Josh Sanchez, carrying a 4-2 advantage into the final frame. Belleville kept striking distance thanks to second period markers from Braden McGregor, Will White, but Hamilton was firmly in control heading into the third. The third belonged entirely, to the Kodiaks. Nathan Pulio, who also played tonight for Coburg, and Nolan Downey struck just over 2 minutes apart to erase the deficit, setting the stage for a dramatic momentum switch. And while killing a penalty, Belleville delivered the decisive blow with back-to-back shorthanded goals.
Wow. From
Tim Zidwell and Nolan Ruddy, just 19 seconds apart, turning a tie game into a 2-goal Kodiaks lead. Hamilton pushed back with Jaden Patterson scoring late, but they were able to hang on for the 6-5 victory. Impressive, eh?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we stay on that theme. Ennismore. They got their first win of the year. And, they did a little bit more in style. They beat on Collingwood 12-5. And, the James gang delivered on probably their most complete performance of the season Saturday night. riding a dominant special teams effort and balanced offensive attack to a convincing 12-5 victory over Collingwood. After building a 3-2 lead after the opening 20 minutes, the James Gang exploded in the second period, scoring 6 times, taking full control of the contest. Liam Volans, Robbie McCrane, Nick DeLauro, and Michael Blaemeyers were the center of the offensive surge, while Andrew Kidd was spectacular between the pipes. I think he faced, by the time this was all said and done, 58 shots in this game. He gave up 5. Pretty spectacular. Collingwood showed some flashes offensively in the third, but it was not to be. Ennismore had the answer every time in this game. And they rode that even further as they faced Hamilton on Sunday. And, they came away with a 9-7 victory over the Bengals. Rough week for Hamilton, eh?
Yeah.
Great week for Ennismore. But, Ennismore jumped out to an early lead and never really surrendered control, riding a dominant first period surge to a 9-7 victory. Hamilton put up a spirited effort. They didn't go away. But Ennismore, to their credit, even though they came breathing down their neck within a goal, they put together a strong third with a couple of goals and came away with a 9-7 victory. We had one more game in OSL, and that was Brooklyn facing Owen Sound, in which the Merchants stay perfect, and they beat Brooklyn 9-3. By the way, Shawn, the goalie for Brooklyn in this one, Thomas Kostiuk. So he had a fantastic day, only giving up 3 goals. And it's funny, they were trailing by a goal after the first frame, and then they found their stride in the second, never looking back. The third period turned into a absolutely very emotional thing. There was 41 minutes in penalties handed out. Two little tiffs went on there, and funny thing is, once they got sorted out from all that, Brooklyn won on a tear. I think they scored 4 in a row to make a nice 5-3 tight game into a 9-3 laugher. So they are sitting atop with Six Nations still. And, if we look at the standings, Brooklyn is up there at 6-0. Six Nations 5-0. Owen Sound at 4-2. Ennismore at 2-4. 2-4 now, eh? That takes 2 seasons usually for Ennismore. So they got some really good players. Never mind, man. Liam Boland's the real deal. So is McCrane, and a few of those guys are just tearing it up. They're going to make some noise this year. I really think that they can be victors this week too. So Hamilton's 1-4, Collingwood 1-5, Belleville 1-4, and nobody is undefeated in this or winless in this league anymore. If we look at what's upcoming this week, Owen Sound and Hamilton, Six Nations and Belleville on Saturday. On Sunday, Ennismore and Belleville, and Owen Sound and Brooklyn. That's going to be a really great game, especially after this week. So stay tuned. Some great games coming this week. All right, that should bring us on over to the WLA, gentlemen.
Yeah. I guess we'll start off, we'll go back to last Sunday because I think that was really the big matchup. Maple Ridge and Coquitlam. I think this was really the test to see, was Maple Ridge the real deal or not? The answer is yes. Yes, they are. A 5-3 win over Coquitlam to go to 4-0 in first place in the standings, and obviously, 5-3 score. It was a goaltending clinic between Christian Del Bianco and Jack Hask. Adnax took the lead early in the first. Thomas Semple scoring. Tyler Pace scores a power play goal to tie up the game. Denton Armstrong ties it right back up. But then the Burrards score 3 straight, 2 to end off the first period. But then the second period, nobody scored. Both goaltenders blanked them out. 13 saves for Del Bianco in the second period, 12 for Kask. But in the third, Declan Fitzpatrick finished off the 3-goal run for Maple Ridge. Bobby Kidd the third made it a 1-goal game, but Marcus Clarich finished it off. And Marcus Clarich was leading scorer, a goal and 3 assists. Tyler Pace also a goal and 3 assists for the Burrards. Peyton Cormier, Hello Vancouver, a goal and an assist. For that next, Denton Armstrong, a goal and assist, and then, like I mentioned, Thomas Semple and Bobby Kidd the third with the lone goals for the Adnac. So huge win for Maple Ridge to keep first place in the WLA. Then heading on to, I believe it was Wednesday, we had the Salmon Bellies against the Langley Thunder, and New Westminster came away with an 8-6 win here. Actually, the Thunder were ahead heading into the third period. They were up 5-3. Owen Ron scored 3 goals, and Ben Sonnen had a goal for a 4-goal run for New Westminster to take the lead. And Owen Ron, huge game, 3 goals, 2 assists, a 7-point game. Noah Armitage, a goal and 3 assists, a goal and 2 assists for Lucas Nielsen. In goal, Ashton LeClaire, 37 saves on 43 shots. For Langley, he had 2 goals and an assist from John Phillips. Trevane Hunter with 2 goals. Connor Watson with a pair of goals. Also had 2 assists from Nathaniel Koznevikov. And yeah, mouthful there. And Devin Pfeiffer with 2 assists as well. And in goal for Langley was actually Frank Chiliano, makes an appearance. He had 40 saves on 48 shots. On to Thursday, and it was a rough week if you're a Burnaby Laker. They had back-to-back games. The first game was against New Westminster. They took a 10-5 loss, and really it was more or less all New West for the most part. Burnaby did have a 4-3 lead 5 minutes and 44 seconds into the second period, but New West went on I believe a 7 or 8 goal run here, and that was pretty much the end of it for Burnaby. For New West, again, Noah Armitage, a 7-point night, 4 goals, 3 assists, hat trick for Will Malcolm. He also had 2 assists for 5 points. Owen Ron again, 2 assists. Lucas Nielsen with a pair of assists, and Ashton LeClaire again having a great season so far. 37 of 42 shots for the Lakers. Hat trick from Finn Halliday. He had a goal and 2 assists from Ethan Emlott. Thomas Vela, a goal and an assist, and 2 assists from Austin Ducommon. And Mark Ripberger got the start and stopped 35 of 45 shots in the loss. Then the next night, Burnaby against Victoria, and a 15-3 win for the Shamrocks. So
Finally.
Burnaby's still looking for that first win, and only 8 goals in 2 nights is not a great sign.
There's an understatement and a half.
Yeah, that's a second time this season they've lost by 12 goals.
Yeah, and what was it? Sorry, I have to do a little bit of math here because Victoria went on like a 12-goal run at one point here. It was just ridiculous. It really was unfortunately not a close game at all, right from start to finish. Zach Mans, 3 goals, 5 assists. Marshall King, 3 goals, 5 assists. Patrick Dodds, 2 goals, 4 assists. In goal was Chris Origlieri, 32 saves on 35 shots. For Burnaby, basically your goal scorers, Xander Quebeca with 2 goals and an assist. And your other goal came from Ethan Emlott, a goal and an assist. He had 2 assists from Finn Halliday. And both Keegan Mlinichuk and Mark Ripberger saw time in this game. So things are not looking good over in Burnaby right now.
Right.
Then moving on to yesterday, 2 games. Our first game was Coquitlam against Langley, and then Coquitlam came away with an 8-7 win. Langley tried a bit of a comeback in the third period. They were down by 3 and pulled the goalie, and Dante Koulis and John Phelps scored to make it a 1-goal game, but they just couldn't find the equalizer in that one. For Coquitlam, he had 2 goals and an assist from James Ray, goal and 2 assists from Jalen Chaster, 2 assists from Keen Moon. Again, Chris Del Bianco with the start, 39 saves off of 46 shots. For Langley, Dante Koulis, a goal and 4 assists, 5 points. John Phelps, 2 goals and 2 assists. Connor Watson, a goal and assist. And you got 2 goals from Devin Pfeiffer. And in goal was Keegan Okino with 42 saves on 50 shots. He's on to Mike's game on Saturday.
Mike.
Yeah. The Shamrocks come back and take a 13-10 win over the Nanaimo Timbermen.
What a great week. What a great week. Atlas who?
Yeah, Nanaimo actually led 9-8 after 2 periods and scored the first goal of the third period to go up 10-8, and then Victoria closed the game on a 5-goal run in the third. Eli McLaughlin, 4 goals and an assist for the Shamrocks. Marshall King had a hat trick. Matthew Gauthier had 2 goals. Zach Mans and Patrick Dodge each had a goal and 2 assists. You got a goal and an assist from Nick Preston and a goal from Jacob Hickey. And for the Shamrocks, Chris Origlieri and Adam Bland split time, making a combined 32 saves. For the Timbermen, Andrew Bowman, 2 goals, 2 assists. Same for Noah Manning. Logan Schmidt had a pair of goals. Ryan Sheridan, a goal and 3 assists. Matt Boas had a goal and an assist. Jake Mickelson, a goal and an assist. Leon Bohm, a goal and an assist. And Colby Bowman was in the Nanaimo net, 49 saves on 62 shots in the loss. So he got peppered a bit.
A bit. Yes. All right, that brings us to one last game tonight, and that is the Burrards and the Timbermen. Burrards are still undefeated, right?
They are 4-0. Just to rain on Gary's parade too. Langley is 1-5. That 1 win. Victoria.
Break. Get a break. That's okay.
I was going to agree on his parade a little bit.
You will be telling me next week about the wonderful Shamrocks beating on the Burrards on Friday. Don't worry.
That'll be the game for first place. That's the game to watch on Fridays.
Yeah, we'll be up late watching that one. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
There has to be something, man. There has to be something. There's a silver lining somewhere in there, you know. because then they beat on the Adanacs on the weekend, right? But hey, first we got to get through the Burrards.
Yeah.
The litmus test. It's funny how everything's topsy-turvy this year, though, eh?
Oh, it's crazy.
MSLs have been mediocre at best. The Shamrocks are starting to put it together now, but they didn't look good at all. And, Langley, sitting there at 1-5. Never mind the 1. We'll talk about the 5.
Well, it's funny because I was talking to Mike. The thing about New West is they don't just don't seem to have the star power they had in past years. I don't know if they're going to be quite that dominant team that they usually are compared to the other teams where, the Burrards, you're seeing guys like Peyton Cormier really step it up and be a star in this league.
Newsflash to Vancouver. Yeah. Mr. Malowski.
Kid can play, yeah.
Kid can play is right. The reason why he went in the first round, like number 4, the reason why he set NCAA records, he needs an opportunity. So, and never mind. Don't want to go down that path again. Went into MSL, and we had another great week and a bizarre week at the same time, because you really can't tell who's going to do what unless they're named Six Nations, and then we can tell. But Oakville, who are still missing a bunch of players, beat the Peterborough Lakers on Monday, 11-9. And interesting game. The Rock jumped out to an early lead. They never really looked back. They used timely scoring, strong goaltending. Evan Konstantopoulos was in net for the Rock. Note to Chugger. Oh wait, Chugger is the GM. Gee, I wonder why. But he played very solid in net. Faced 55 shots and 46 saves. Not a bad evening out. Peterborough mounted a determined comeback in the third behind offensive firepower Rob Hellier, Take Tony, and Liam Volans. Gee, I've heard that name before, haven't I? This kid's going to be a star. Lakers twice pulled within a single goal, including after Liam Patton's transition tallied midway through the frame, but Oakville responded each time. Ty Steenhouse completed his hat trick, and Jack McAlpine had a key insurance marker before McCannell's second of the night helped seal the win. Despite being outshot 26-14 in the third, the Rock capitalized on their opportunities, winning 11-9. So there's a number of names there that jump out. Konstantopoulos in net, Ty Steenhouse with a hat trick. Look out. The future is upon us now. It's been an interesting NLL season. Well, Six Nations. What can you say? They won. They're 5-0. On to the next one.
Next, yeah.
They beat Coburg 9-4. Now, yes, Coburg only got 4 goals in the game, but Six Nations only got 9. And Josh Byrne got 4 of them. So I'd say overall, they did a pretty good job of holding off an absolute, what can you say about this team? Juggernaut. It's just ridiculous, this team, how many waves they can throw at you. Coburg controlled much of the first period, and they actually built a 3-0 lead, buying goals from Aaron Wood, Shane Halliwell, and Alex Marinier. The Kodiaks were generating quality chances, received a strong start from Lane Ruska and net. While Six Nations struggled to find their offensive rhythm, Andrew Q's late first period marker proved to be a momentum-changing event. They headed into the first intermission up 3-1 over Six Nations. Unfortunately, you have to play another 40 minutes in this game, and, things tend to change. The game completely shifted in the final 40 minutes as Six Nations showcased why they remain one of the league's elite clubs. After McKay restored Coburg's 3-goal advantage, Kieran McKay that is, early in the second period, the Chiefs erupted for 8 unanswered goals. Josh Byrne led the charge with 4. Andrew Q, Tyson Bell, Latrell Harris, Travis Longboat all played key roles in the comeback. Six Nations turned defensive stops into transition opportunities. Control possession, overwhelmed the Kodiaks with relentless pressure. 8-1 was what they outscored them in the final two periods for the 9-4 victory. My question earlier in the week on TikTok was, is there anybody, I don't care what league, that can beat the Six Nation Chiefs? And I mean one game. Best 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Anyway, we go into Wednesday, and Brampton and Brooklyn faced off against one another in Brooklyn. And Connor O'Toole faced Aiden Walsh in net. Brooklyn used a balanced offensive attack, dominant second half, to pull away from Brampton in a convincing 12-5 victory. After a tightly contested opening period saw the lead change hands several times, Brooklyn carried a narrow 4-3 advantage into the first intermission. Connor Kiernan was at the center of the BLC attack, setting up multiple goals, while Dan Littner scored twice in the opening frame to help Brooklyn stay ahead in this back-and-forth affair. The game began to tilt in Brooklyn's favor during the second period as Will McLeod and Taggart Clark answered Brampton to gain a 2-goal cushion heading into the third. From there, Brooklyn took complete control, outscoring the Excelsior 6-1 in the final frame. Littner completed his hat trick. McLeod added his second of the night, and Clark, Boucher, and Riley O'Connor, as well as Landon Sinnefield, all found the score sheet as Brooklyn's offense overwhelmed Brampton. Big-time game, and it's the sign of things to come for Brooklyn. They had a little struggle at the beginning. They started looking a lot better. But Brampton, in a really great game on Thursday, after falling behind 4-1 in the opening frame, they wound up scoring the last four. They were down 7-5 after 2. They scored the only 4 goals in the third period and wound up winning 9-7 over the Owen Sound North Stars. Finally, the character is rising to the top. Andrew Kidd in net for the North Stars, Riley Hutchcraft in net for Brampton, so solid goaltending on both sides. That same night, Brooklyn wound up in Peterborough. And, well, Brooklyn wound up beating Peterborough 12-10. Told you they found the right side up now. Brooklyn and Peterborough traded punches all night in a fast-paced, high-skilled affair that featured 5-lane changes and several momentum swings. Brooklyn struck first from Will McLeod, but the Lakers answered with back-to-back goals from Dylan Hutchison and Brad McCulley to grab the early advantage. Brooklyn responded late in the opening frame with goals from Taggart Clark and Dan Littner to reclaim the lead, then weathered another Peterborough surge in the second period. Rob Hellier's pair of goals helped the Lakers move back in front, but Brooklyn continued to answer every challenge, getting timely tallies from Clark, Jackson Rebozo, and Landon Sinnefield to carry a slim 6-5 lead into the final period. Third period delivered even more drama as Peterborough twice battled back from deficits behind the offensive brilliance of Hellier and Justin Sykes. Every time the Lakers appeared poised to seize control, though, Brooklyn found an answer. Chase Scanlon, Ryan Barnable, Connor Kiernan, and a pair of clutch goals from McLeod kept the BLC attack rolling, while Scanlon's late power play marker proved a valuable insurance. Despite 4 goals from Rob Hellier, Brooklyn was able to hold on for the 12-10 victory. And, of course, tonight you had Brooklyn and Coburg facing off against each other. Busy week for Brooklyn. And, well, Alex Marinier is the star of this show for Coburg. He scored 7 goals tonight in a loss. 7.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Final score was 12-9. 7. But for Brooklyn, You were looking at Chris Boucher with a big night. You were looking with Chase Scanlon with a big night. Unbelievable. I still can't get over Mourinho. He just tore it up right from the beginning. In fact, the game started with Mourinho scoring the first 2 goals. Brooklyn just came with wave after wave. And in fact, the second period, they kind of took the thing to Coburg, I think scoring 6 times. The final quarter, though, they made a goaltending change. Ryan O'Connor scored 23 seconds into the third. They changed Jackson Brown for Gavin Williamson, and he never let in a goal. Williamson was spectacular. Coburg came up with 3 goals in the third to make this a close game, but the final was 12-9, 54-52 in shots in favor of Brooklyn. So pretty spectacular. Upcoming this week, we have here we go. Coburg at Oakville tomorrow. Peterborough into Brooklyn on Wednesday. Six Nations into Brampton on Thursday. And Oakville and Owen Sound on Saturday. A bit of a lighter week this week for MSL. On top, of course, is Six Nations. What a shock, eh, guys? I believe Brooklyn is now sitting in second place. 4-2. Oakville at 2-0. But they've got to play a bunch of games, so that's coming. Peterborough 2-3. Coburg at 1-3. Brampton at 1-3. Owen Sound at 0-4. So it's going to be an interesting little time. But again, my question to the floor, can anybody beat Six Nations? Brooklyn's coming on, and now they have the goaltending of, they have a lot of goaltenders. They have, on their list, they have 5. But Zach Higgins isn't one of them. He over to Senior B. But you have Steve Orleman, Aiden Walsh. I have to pull it up. It's crazy. There's 5 of them there. And now that Mark Matthews is not in the lineup, that creates a little bit of a hole too. But they are finding ways to win. Chris Boucher looks great. He hasn't missed a beat in any of this. So, Ryan Barnable's looking good also. Taggart Clark had a good game today. He's been feeling it as well. I don't know. I'm hoping there's enough in there, but it's a 7-game series against that juggernaut.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, where's the weakness in Six Nations? Show me the weakness. Yeah.
I look at it and go, how? But Aiden Walsh better have the summer of his life if they hope to win. Because Orleman is there, Lucas Coote is there, Ryan Chkowski is there, but he's going to be the guy, I think, if they're going to do anything. And that basically wraps up MSL for this week. Easy week, eh, guys?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what goes on in the next couple of weeks with Austin Staats. I think that is the question is upon all of our minds, and how we're going to attack this one. And what I think, if we were ever able to know if he can get across the border, that would open up a lot of different reasonings for us. But right now we're in the dark with all of it, right?
True.
Yeah. There's just so many question marks right now. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, and with free agency not till August 1st, I think it's going to remain quiet for longer than expected.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one other bit of news before we sign off here. The Haudenosaunee Sixes announced their coaching staff. And what do you think about this? Tavares is the coach, Kilgore is the coach, Andy Secor is the coach, Landon Miller and Davey Robertson as GM and assistant GM.
impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
I would put a number of question marks in all the other contenders, which include Canada, of strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, 6 is box on field. So when you get the greatest box minds out there figuring it out, I don't know. I would, honestly, even as a Canadian, I would love to see, just to stick it to everybody, all the groups that didn't allow them to do anything, and all the different things that wouldn't let them off the bus, to see the Haudenosaunee hoist a gold Olympic medal.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be a made-for-TV
Yeah.
movie?
Pretty much.
The storyline, like you said, the storyline that would just be, you can't make that up, right? Like,
no, it's right up there with the U.S. women coming from behind to beat the big bad Canadians in the Worlds. And, when we delve further, there were a lot more explanations than just that. But, hello, Lacrosse Canada. Let's get her moving there, because time is a wasting. And if you think you can pull it off with a practice a week and a half before the Olympics, that ain't gonna happen. Anyways, just a reminder to everybody that we are on Facebook, we are on X, we are on Instagram, we are on Thread, we are on YouTube, as well as on www.streampunkentertainment.com. Please visit us 3, 4, 5 times a day, as the news is always changing. Everything is up and around. All the trades are as quickly as we can get them to you. Got an inside edge on a lot of them. Don't worry. And, all our stuff is accurate and as quick as humanly possible to get it to you. All right, that brings us to last words. Mike, let's start with you this week.
Yeah, big week WLA, obviously upcoming. With no PLL happening, I'll be helping out Shawn a little bit with some of these crucial early games, really. Right.
Shawn, last words to you.
Yeah, same here. And actually, an update. We're underway actually in Maple Ridge. It's 2-0 Burrards in the first period. Goals from Garrett Winter and Marcus Clarich. Riley Lowe and Nori with 2 assists. So
amazing.
Still looking really, really good. But same as Mike said, some really important games coming up, especially that Burrard Shamrocks game. That's going to
be the slobber knocker. Yeah,
that's going to be an amazing game. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm looking forward to the Standing Buffalo game this week in Moose Jaw. Seeing guys like Mike Messenger, Jake Boudreau, Austin Shanks, those guys playing a little senior b-ball here in Saskatchewan. I'm really looking forward to it. And my understanding is Jeff Schattler's behind the bench coaching Standing Buffalo this year instead of playing, so it'll be exciting to watch.
Absolutely. I am excited about another week of MSL and OSL, and it's been fantastic so far. We're halfway through it in OSL. We're almost halfway through it. Not quite with MSL. So things are rolling around real nice. I'm curious when Brooklyn and Six Nations finally meet in OSL. I'm going to have to be that on my bingo card to make sure I'm in attendance for that game. I think that's going to be just, the sign of the playoffs to come. But I still ask the question in MSL, are we playing for number 2? Is there anybody that can beat Six Nations?
Only Six Nations can beat Six Nations. The only way they're going to lost is the off night.
And the thing is, it's like last year, right? And, Rich Kilgore and I talked about this last summer a bit. And it was, sometimes it's better if they do get that loss in there just to kind of remind them that they have to play for more than 8 minutes a game. Because they tend to just kind of, ramp up slowly. The other teams get a bit of hope, and then they just roll up for 8 minutes, score 12 goals, and then pull her down again and call it a day. Because they have so much talent that if they actually face a team with talent, that maybe they can't gear it up like that. But I haven't seen the team that can gear it up like that yet. And maybe the Burrards are it. Maybe that's the only thing I can fleetingly hold my hope to. because unless Brooklyn shows me a little more, or Peterborough starts waking up, who in the MSL can do it? I don't see a team that can even come close in a 60-minute game, let alone a best 4 out of 7 series. So,
And you're saying other leagues. I mean, looking at WLA, I mean, I could maybe see Victoria giving them a run. Maybe.
I've watched that movie already.
Yeah.
Very well.
You haven't watched it with Maple Ridge yet, though.
That's the thing. Is like Maple Ridge is such a wild card. Like, but I just don't know because I mean they got Jack Caskey's look good in goal, but
yeah, I'm
like,
not
against
sure
that type of firepower, I just don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not sure that card is so
Shawn
wild.
Slaght.
You know, I mean, right now, them acquiring Tyler Pace seems to be the move, the big move of the off season.
It's a good move for sure.
yeah,
But is it enough? Unless he's planning on spending 58 minutes on the floor.
like I said, like my question marks in goaltending just because, like I said, Jack Caskey, he's looked really good, but is he the guy who's going to lead you against that firepower in Six Nations?
Let alone you finally get through that and you go and do an offensive attack, and you have Warren Hill and Doug Jamieson on that end. Let alone you have Kyle Rubish, you have Tyson Bell, I can list off, an entire All-Star team.
The only thing I could, think of is Maple Ridge gets through, and I know Gary hates this rule, but they pick up Christian Del Bianco in place of Cask. Then, yeah, they could potentially.
Yeah, we've got a long summer ahead of us, but I just don't see it. I just can't see it. And if I can't see it at the beginning of June, I'm going to take the fun out of some of it. When you're playing for number 2, or you're playing for who you're don't want to face them in the first round.
Yeah.
That hurts. Or the second round now, I think. I think 6 teams make it now. And 2 don't. Or 1 doesn't, sorry. And they get a bye, and then the first, 2 through 7 play. It's interesting how this works. But we'll see. We'll see. But at the moment, it's who's next on the slaughter, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And does it happen right away, or do they play with their food a little bit first, and then midway through the third, score 11 goals and win 12-4? But that's neither hither nor yon. I want to thank everybody for being with us like always. It is our privilege and our pleasure to bring this to you, as well as to bring everything to you day in, day out, along all the social media as well as our websites for you. Please feel free to DM us. Please feel free to check out all the stuff that is available to you through all of our platforms. And we will be back again next week at 8 p.m. Eastern. For Shawn Slaght, over in Moose Jaw for Muffler Mike, over in Connecticut, I'm Gary Groob in Toronto, wishing you the best of weeks as always. Remember, keep your sticks high, your spirits higher. And until we meet again next week at 8 p.m. Eastern, have a great week, everybody.